Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. I'm freezing, sorry. Welcome back to my channel. You can tell December is well and truly here. Or should I say, the season is well and truly here. So today's project I was going to use initially for the collaboration from Rach and Bella Craft, which was a Christmas 23 craft off collaboration, and that was for the month of November. It was a fabulous collaboration, and I did make this little piece here, and then I decided it wasn't exactly what I wanted to make, but I still really liked it. So I'm going to show you the process video, and I'm just going to put it on as a different day's video. So it's using the collaboration papers for Rach and Bella, and you'll be able to pick those up if you are after the Christmas kit. I will link it below, but this isn't my official entry for that. But we will run through the process, so bear with me, I will be right back. Okay, so I have tried to prepare as much as I can without kind of just running through a kind of show and tell of a project with you. But I've tried to do a lot of the kind of stuff that takes the time so that we'll keep it kind of short and sharp. So junk mail repurposed is my kind of day. So what I have done is I'm going to go with some envelopes. I get so many of these through the post, you would not believe how many I get. And it kind of comes through junk mail, and what I kind of do with them is I keep them all, and I use them just to pop things in as I need to, as you go. But they are perfect for this project, I hope. I haven't done a run through, so we're going to do it together. But I'm going to start with 3 envelopes here, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 2 of them, and I'm going to pop them here next to each other. Now, to do this, you don't need this size envelope, but the 3 envelopes you choose, really, it helps if they're the same size. But you can use smaller versions. I've got some here that I'm going to have a play with. I've got some here that I'm going to have a play with using the same project, and they're a much smaller envelope. So, yeah, you don't have to use what I'm using, but it does really help if they are the same size. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these flaps together. Now, I'm using a wet glue because I need some wiggle room. So I've glued this bit of flap here, and I'm literally going to attach that to this flap here. So I'm going to pop that on here first of all and match them up like so. And as I said, I'm using a wet glue just because my matching skills aren't the best. And so this gives me enough wiggle room to kind of compensate for any issues. Now, what that then gives you is this. Okay, so we've glued these 2 flaps together. So we've got this setup. Now, for what I'm going to use this for, I'm going to go with a scaled down version, but I will try to kind of give you an indication on different variations and different ways you can kind of make this project work for you differently. So while that is drying, I'm going to take my 3rd envelope, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the flap down on the inside of the envelope. So I'm just going to pop some glue in there, and I'm going to literally fold it over and glue it down like that. Now, depending on what you're going to do with this piece, you may need to make some cuts at this point, but I'll run through that with you. So we've got our 2 pieces that are glued together here. and that should be pretty much set. And we've got our third envelope here where I've just glued the flap inside. What I'm going to do next is I am going to, like I said, I haven't tried this, so I don't know how successful it's going to be. I'm going to glue I'm recording that there. Sorry, I'm placing some glue there. And I'm going to pop that inside this flap here, just like that. Okay? So I've attached it. So we've got this flippy piece here. Okay, so the two pieces of envelope flaps were glued together, and then I literally just popped the third envelope on top, almost like a sleeve. So that is that. Now, if you want to create some pockets for yourself, you can leave this open here and have that as a pocket. You could cut the top off this or cut the side off this and give yourself a pocket. And you can leave that open there to give yourself a pocket. Entirely up to you. I am not going to do that because I'm going to use this as a piece for inside of my journal. But if I'd used it for a piece like almost like a folio or that type of thing, then I would utilise these pockets. But because I'm not going to, I am going to just quickly glue those down, just so that I know they're not going to pop up when I don't want them to. So just a little bit of glue on each of those. Okay, a little bit of glue on each of those, and that is those. So we've got 3 envelopes and we've got 3 pieces here. The next thing I am going to do is I am going to cover each of these surfaces with pieces of the kit. Now I've cut these out ready, so you don't have to wait around, but I've literally just cut them out the size of these envelopes. And I've also stitched around them. 1, because I like the look, and 2, it adds a little bit of stability to the paper, but I didn't want to stitch it once this was on because it might have got a little bit difficult. But I have literally cut them out, I've inked around them. I was going to go with a red ink for Christmas. It was a bit too in your face, so I decided to go with the vintage. So I've used Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. And all I'm going to do now is I am going to glue these in place. Now again, I'm going to use a wet glue because I want them to go on, and if I don't get it right, I want there to be a little bit of wiggle room. The only thing with the wet glue is that it does take a little bit more time to dry. So that is going to go on there like that, and we're just going to play with that until we're happy. Okay, now I'm going to put a piece on the back, even though I don't need to, because the back is actually going to be part of my journal. But the reason I'm putting it on the back is so that you can see what it looks like if you decided to have it as a standalone piece, not as a journal kind of insert. And again, these are all pages from the kit. They are beautiful. Now they don't go the full length down because of the way I printed them, but Rach does provide some portrait versions, so if that bothers you, then by all means you can kind of print out the other versions. So we've got a front and we've got a back. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the inside pages. So I'm just going to, again, I've cut them to size, and I have stitched around them, and I have inked them with a vintage photo. Okay. Don't forget, if you'd have kept your pockets here, you might have wanted to add a little bit of the paper inside where the kind of inside of the pockets shows, to mask that, but I'm not going to do that, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to pop that over there again and put these two in. We're not going to worry about the bits that are showing in between at the moment. Okay, so our front page, page 2 and 3, 4 and 5, and 6, if you're going to use it as 6. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I am going to ink around this. Now, you could have done this before you put anything on there, and it might have been easy to do, but I wanted to see how much I needed to ink. So I'm going to do that quickly, and then I will be back with you. Okay, so I have inked around the edges on all of this. So you can see that it removes the white and gives us a real vintage feel. Might want to do a little bit more there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to create some bits and pieces for our insides. And I'll show you what we're going to do with the whole thing then. So I have got here some more junk mail, and I am going to use that, and I'm going to attach this piece of, this is a piece of the card that was left over, sorry, this is a piece of the kit paper that was left over when I was cutting them down to size. So I'm going to pop that in there like that. And I'm going to let that dry. And then I've also got here, this is, I've made some tags and I backed them onto some card. So I used the leftover card to add to this as well. And I know this is the right length, right width for what I want to use it for. So what I am literally going to do is I'm simply going to cut myself 2 tuck spots, and I'm not going to be fussy. 1 tuck spot up there, and I will go with one tuck spot there. Now, if you want to ink around, if you want to stitch around these again, you can. I might just take a little bit off that edge so it falls just within the stitch. Oh, it's not going to, is it? But that's okay. I'll take a little bit off that edge. And I'm just going to ink around these. You can use them as pockets. I'm going to use them as text spots. So one there. And one there. Let me just check, because I think I wanted these on that page there. And I'm going to do exactly the same with this piece that I've just glued. So I'm going to cut that. And again, I'm not going to be super particular. I'm literally just going to, with this one, cut it like so. And that'll give us two. That's the wrong side for what I wanted, but it's not the end of the world either. So I'm just going to chop those end bits off there, like that. And again, I'm just going to ink around them. Actually, I might get away without the one. We'll come back to that in a moment, I think. We will come back to that. So I'm definitely going to glue this one on here, like that. And it's going to be a text spot, so I'm just going to glue it down the one side. Always problems with glue when you don't want there to be. So, gosh, this really doesn't want to come out. I wonder if it's because it's so cold. It's better. So I'm going to pop this down here, like that. And I've got to be careful with bulk because of what I'm going to use it for. But that's why I'm not using the additional pockets. But you do want it to be kind of sturdy, so I'm going to pop these down. One there. And one there. I'll pop that there because I don't know if I'm going to use it yet. So we've got 3 envelopes at the moment, and we've got, open our first page, we've got a text spot there. Open our next set, we've got 2 text spots there, and this back bit, as I said, I'm going to use this to attach it to the journal. If you didn't, you could quite easily add another pocket to this piece here. I'm going to use it for my journal though. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I have got some, this is like a faux vintage paper that I'm going to use. I'm going to fold it in half. And I am going to cut, I'm going to cut it about 9 centimetres wide. And I'm going to take about 1 centimetre off the bottom. Now, because I'm using A4 paper, I know this is the same size as my pretty much the same size as my envelopes, maybe a tiny bit smaller, but pretty much the same size as my envelopes. So that will go there like that, bro. So what I'm going to do then is I am going to, I have got bits all over here that I have prepped. And do you think I can find them now? No, because that would be too easy. Excuse me. Okay, so that's fine. What I do want to do is I want to give this almost like a border piece to go on top. And I want that to be roughly the same size as this, just past it perhaps. So that, yeah, gonna cut that off there. And I'm gonna cut that off there. And I am just going to stitch this together a moment. So my sewing machine, sure, it's tedded up to the pram just at the last moment, so luckily I was able to put this on here. And I literally just wanted a top because I think it adds a little bit of extra. Normally I would fold that over, but I don't want to fold it over because it'll give me extra bulk again. So I am just going to glue that into place there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do while we plop this to one side and let that dry is I have got some tags that I've put together. At the moment I've put some glossy accents on some of these, so you will, don't know how much of that you'll see, but you'll see little bits of gloss. That is still drying. And I've got 3 tags. They are all from the kit. And again, I have used glossy accents just at different points, just to highlight some of the little bits and pieces that are on here. So I hope you can see them. When they are fully dried, I will distress ink around the edges, and I will pop some ribbons and some little dangles on. Now, in the true fashion of recycling, I did. So they're my ribbons. I had some of these left over from Christmas packaging last year. So even though it's not junk mail, I thought there's got to be a way of using these. So what I decided on was to make little dangles that I could add to my tags. And all I've done with those is I have printed a couple of different layers. So I've got my kit page here, and I have printed, I have used I'll double check, but I think this is oops, a daisy, that shouldn't have come off there. This is a 1-inch circle punch. So I've printed a kit page and cut out a 1-inch circle punch. And then I have done the same with some of the card that I had left over from back in the tags. And I cut a piece out of these gold tags here. So literally just popped those 3 on. I used some Distress Collage Medium to give that a top coating. And then I just added an eyelet. You can't really see the medium because it is matte. Tiny bit of a little sheen to it. I added an eyelet and then a bullpen and just a little button, which I thought was quite cute. And then I added some ribbon, red ribbon, to go with that as well. So these, as I said, are super, super easy to make. And it literally was just using some of the leftovers. Sorry, I'm just going to glue this back on here. It was just using some of the leftovers that I had from the project. So perhaps not junk mail repurposed, but definitely repurposing some older bits and pieces. So I have created 3 smaller tags, again from the kit. And what I've done on these tags, which is the same as that, is I've stitched around them just to give them a little bit more interest. I inked around these. These are the ones I inked around in red initially, but I didn't like it, so I went through with the Distress ink, which was the vintage photo. And I am going to use the gold pieces from here and use those to go with these tags. So I'm going to pause now and put all of this together, and then I will show you the final piece that we've made today. Okay, so we're there, almost. The tags have all now dried. Got some glossy accent on there to highlight some of those areas. Little red ribbon and a little dangle. So I'm going to pop one in there like that, which is our second page. We then have a notebook, and I've just added a little piece of fabric just with a little nutcracker that I'd done recently. And then we've got our other 2 tags here, one there and one there. Now I'm going to try and put them different heights because they will bulk, is the problem. They'll bulk this out. So already you can see that that is really bulked there. I'd love to take these dangles off. We can leave the ribbon because that's okay, but the dangles are going to have to come off. So that'll pop in there. Okay, that's much better. So we've got our envelopes here. We've got turning over for our first page. We've got a tuck spot, just popped a couple of tags in there from the kit. A notepad here, a little bit of fabric cutie there. Flip it over again. We've got another tuck spot with a couple of tags in, another tuck spot with a couple of tags in, and our back version here. Now, as I said, if you're going to use this as a separate piece of ephemera, then you want this back piece covered. I'm going to be attaching this to my journal, which is why I needed to thin it down. So I want a closure. So what I've done is I've taken one of those tags there and I've just added a piece of the kit material, the kit's page on that, and I have stitched around it. Just give it a little bit of an ink. And the idea is that this will, I want to see how far over I want that because I don't want it necessarily. So if I pop that there like that. And I am going to use this as a closure. So I'm going to glue that to the back piece. Yeah. So I'm going to glue this here. And I'm just positioning it there because I don't want it to cover too much of our girl on the front. So So that is going to be glued there. And then for the front, I am going to use some of these Velcro pieces. So I'm going to pull off 1, 2 bottom pieces, and then 1, 2 top pieces. Now these are super sticky, but I'm also going to put some glue on them because they never seem to stay on long enough when I do them. So I'm going to pop one there like that, and I am going to pop the other one there like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on these, and I'm going to pop that over there so that they will set there. Now, what I probably should have said at the beginning, it's quite a bulky piece now, but the idea for this for me was I was going to use this as a large 4-page belly band to go in one of my oversized journals. If you want to put it in a smaller journal, obviously, then your smaller envelopes are going to do the trick. But for me, I want to use this for an oversized journal. It is quite bulky, but you don't have to keep all of the tags in it that I've put in there. But I was going to attach it across the top here, across the bottom there, and then you then create for yourself a belly band behind. And because we don't want to waste these, I am going to, I'm going to try and put a hole in here. Just going to cut through some of that there. Okay, so we finally got there. I had a bit of a fight with my eyelet, my crocodile. This thing keeps popping out, so I think I need to replace that. That's not your problem. So I just had to reinforce this and pop that on there again. So as I said, I am going to use this probably as a belly band for one of my chunky journals, although it is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I've taken a couple of these tags out because they do bulk it right up, and I've taken some of these out. But I've added one to the closure there, so that's a little cutie, and I've also added a bull clip to the top just to keep all of that together. If you're going to use it outside of your journal, you can use it as an ephemera holder, you can use it as a happy mail, just a little piece you put in your bag to make you keep your notes, all sorts of different things you can use it for. So it doesn't have to be a fixture in your journal, but that was my original intention. So the closure, as I said, I've got Velcro fastening. We open that up here. I've got a text spot here, which I probably would embellish a little bit more. There's some fabulous pieces in the kit, and our little tag here with the little bits of glitz and glamour. Our little notebook with the fabric rub-on from the Nutcracker. Another text spot here with another full-size tag. All of them have journaling spots on the back. Another text spot here with another tag. And that is it. Not everything went to plan. It was a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be. I probably should have made a mock version first of all. But, you know, that is real life, isn't it? And our projects don't always come out as we expect them to. I'll leave it there. As always, until the next time we catch up, stay safe, be well, and we'll speak soon. Bye for now.